Okay team, so our first video was more related to the creating a virtual machine into a private subnet as per the network is defined. In this video what we are going to achieve is we are going to attach a block volume to that specific machine, okay, and we'll make it as a persistent on the Linux. So first of all, I am here onto the machine itself. All right, just clear. If config same machine fdisk -l. All right, so there is just one volume until now, fdisk -l. So in order to check, okay, so there is just one volume, 110 GB, which we have assigned at that time. And even from here you can check. By default it's giving like 36 GB to the slash as root file system, and rest is it's going to give to 46 GB is going to be assigned to the other for the root operating system, sort of a thing. All right, so first of all we are going to go to the block volume side. Okay. So first of all, in order to create the volume, first of all we are going to create a specific compartment for that, so that we can have a complete isolation. We are going to go into the compartment, and inside the baseline common infra we're going to create a compartment which is called volume 1, volumes for server zones. Alright, so this is what's going to happen. Create compartment is created. Okay, after that we are going to go to the storage, block volumes, and here we are going to assign a specific volume which we have just created as in volume 1, and we'll say okay, create block volume. So ideally we should give the same name of the virtual machine to the block volume, because it's very good again from the management perspective, because you will have an environment where you have tons of VMs and number of block volumes. So based to that, each machine should have a specific block volume name. Naming scheme is very important here. Block volume 1 we can say. Okay, so it's again in into the same compartment, volume 1. Okay, here we are going to give it a custom size. Once we are giving the custom size, we need to keep an eye on the IOPS and throughput. Okay, right now by default is 50 GB. Okay, I'm going to make it 500 GB, and at the same time you should have noticed here the throughput is increased to 240 Mbps. The maximum throughput it will go to the 480 Mbps. Okay, I'll just make it a more minimize so that we can have a look on this. Have a look now. Okay, see here, so by default it was 50, 24 Mbps, 500, 240. Even if I give it 1 terabyte, 480 Mbps. Even if I add one more zero, it will remain the same thing. Okay, so important thing is also whatever the volume you are attaching, the throughput is important according to that. All right, so backup policy. It is always important to choose a backup policy when you are creating a block volume. There are multiple reasons behind it. Either you should go with the bronze, silver or gold. Okay, we can discuss this part, what exactly each policy means, but at least bronze should be there, so that you need to have at least one backup for your block volume. Okay, coming down, There's an encryption with the Oracle managed keys, totally fine with us, no issues at all. Create block volume. Okay. Once the block volume is being created, okay, we are going to attach that block volume to the Linux machine, and after that we will make it persistent so that it will remain with the machine itself. Alright, so we are going to go to our compute instances, and we'll go to our own compartment, which is the server compartment which we have created. Alright, into the machine, and we'll say okay, go to the attach block volume. Okay, attach block volume. Here we are going to choose the compartment. Okay, we created the block volume inside the volume 1. Alright, and this is the volume which is created. Okay, these are the device path which is into the Oracle by default. There are many paths until you can say more than I don't want to guess that, but there is a lot of paths are available. Anyways, we are choosing the next available. Okay, attachment type, most probably Oracle chooses the ISCSI as an attachment type, but anyways, let Oracle choose. We have no issues with whatever the attachment type is available. Attach. This does not take long, hardly 30 seconds. Okay, once this is attached, what we are going to do, we are going to run a couple of commands, and these commands are also available right here on the console. Alright, so this is attached, but attached means it's attached to the VM itself. Now a set of commands which we need to run from here. Okay, so this is the normal ISCSI. When we have like even in the traditional model, we use ISCSI ADM in order to connect any LUN to the operating system. So the same thing, we'll just copy it. Alright, and we'll go to our VM itself, clear fdisk -l. Okay, nothing is there right now. So these three commands and enter. Okay, first command output was this one, second command output logging in and login. Alright, that's what we needed, and it's also successful as well. Okay, now what we are going to do is fdisk -l. Okay, so this is the 500 GB as raw disk which is attached right now. What we will do, we are going to create LVM on this disk and make it persistent. Why LVM? The thing is, tomorrow, like, there is a requirement to add another node, another disk into this. Tomorrow we need to increase the volume, okay, volume size, or there is another thing which we need to add it, another storage which we need to add it to the existing mount point. So LVM is more useful in this part. Alright, so first of all, what we are going to do is, just a second, okay, so the main thing is, as I said, we are going to create as an LVM. So as a first step, okay, we know we are going to mount it on the /u01. Okay, and then we can check it as an ls block. This is the one which we are going to use. Let's P and K only. This is our disk. Disk -l. And I say fdisk /dev stb, and for help okay, and this is actually seems like as a new step. So for the new primary, by default, whatever the setting is coming, we are going to use that one. Alright, and again M for help. What we are going to use here is we are going to assign actually a specific LVM point. Actually, so I guess maybe the one partition type, I guess. Let me see what exactly is T. No, it's not that one. Okay, so here we are going to choose normally it's 8E. 8E is the one, and we'll write it. Write means right, and we'll just verify it. fdisk minus L. So fdisk minus L means, okay, like this was the raw disk and we have created partition on top of this. Alright, now we'll go ahead with the creation of as an LVM. So we'll say again, like one more time, ls blk, sorry, minus L, ls blk. Alright, so we'll go with the pv create on here. Sorry, so it will be STB. So I'll just clear it. PV create is done, and then we'll go ahead with the VG create volume group. So this is the name of the volume group which we are going to assign it. You can give it any name. Volume group U01/dev SDB. So saying cannot use, the device is partitioned. Command requires all devices to be found. Alright, I think partition was not required actually at that time. Okay, I'll just pause the video and I'll try to revert back. Okay, so the thing is that partition was not required. So what we are going to do, we are going to delete this partition and we'll recreate it. And we are going to choose this one, disk, M for help, and what we are going to do here, delete a partition. We'll press D. No partition is defined yet. What we're going to do is M for help, D for delete. Okay, it's deleted, and W to write it. fdisk minus L. Okay, cool. This is what we needed actually. SDB as a raw disk, which is appearing here. Alright, and now we are going to go ahead with the creating the physical volume, the volume group, and the logical volume on top of that. PV create dev STB. Okay, we'll go with the volume group. VG volume group U01, and this is the disk we are going to use. Volume group is created as well. Now we are going to go ahead with the logical volume creation as an LV create minus n, and then we are going to give a name of the logical volume as well, underscore u01 logical volume minus l, and we say okay 100% utilization. On top of the volume group. That's it. And now we are going to create a file system on top of this, on this logical volume. mkfs.xfs. vgu01 underscore logical volume. Alright, so our file system is also created on top of this. Right now I'm going to make an entry into the fstab to make it persistent. So when I reboot the server itself, this block volume should be persistent with it. So I'll say sudo block id, and we can also find that with the -f command as well, ls blk -f. Alright, so this is the one. So what we are going to do is we are going to add the UUID into the etc fstab. So we can have a look onto the fstab file right now. Okay, the important thing here is we need to add with the _.net div parameters so that it should be persistent. This is the requirement from the cloud itself, that we must add these parameters. That's what I'm going to do right now, to add it into the fstab file. Okay guys, so we are going to choose this UUID, okay, of the logical volume, and we'll mount it to the fstab. We'll press Shift G to come to the bottom of the file, and then Shift A to go the last of the file. Enter. Alright, so this is the UUID which we see for the logical volume itself. This is the mount point where we want to mount. This is the file system. These are the parameters which are recommended by the cloud infrastructure. And I'll save it. Let's have a look. Alright, the entry is there. Okay, first thing which we are going to do right now, there is no slide u01 mounted. We'll only say okay, mount -a, df -h, u01 is mounted. We are good. Okay, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to make a reboot to this server just to verify that u01 should be available to me when the machine comes up, because after that, once the volume is persistent, then we can go ahead with our production installation, development, staging, whatever is required. So this is what we are going to achieve, and after that we are going to perform a full backup of this mount point. Okay, we are going to delete some files, and then we are going to restore. That will be in the coming video, but I'll just try to verify here. The machine should be reachable, so I'm going to make a restart session. Alright, cool. OPC df -h. Alright, so we have u01 which is persistent right now, and as per the video we have achieved what we want to do. Thank you folks.